Hello fellow geeks and welcome back to Running Geek Girl. My name is Heather and I'm glad you're here because it is time for another part in our series, the Running ABCs. For those of you not familiar, first of all, hit subscribe so you don't miss any of my running content that I upload regularly on this channel. This is a series where we talk about some of the common vocabulary that's used with a lot more experienced runners so that as you read running articles and talk to people who have been doing this for a while, you'll have an idea of what they're talking about. If you want to catch up on what you've missed so far, I'm going to have a link up here and down in the description. But for now, we're going to move on ahead with the letter R. Recovery. Recovery is when you have walking or an easy jogging segment in between faster paced segments. It lets your heart rate come down a bit so that you can get ready for a new burst of speed. Recovery run. Recovery runs are shorter and slower runs that you do about 24 hours after a big race or an extremely intense workout. This is meant to get your body used to running in a fatigue state, and towards the end of your next marathon, you're going to be happy that you practiced that. Repeats. Repeats are fast segments of running that you do over and over with a shorter recovery segment in between. If you're training for a marathon, you may want to run 1,000-meter repeats about 6 times with a couple of minutes of recovery in between. If you're working on a shorter race like a 5K, then you might do short repeats of 400 meters at a time. Rest day. A rest day is pretty much just a day off. Rest days are crucial to helping you maintain a healthy lifestyle and workout schedule. You can use rest days for active recovery, stretching, corrective exercises, just going to take a walk, leisure activities, anything that'll keep your muscles loose, but it's not running and you're not trying to push yourself. RICE method. Usually if you have injured any part of your body, you will hear someone suggest RICE. They don't mean actually going and eating rice, they're suggesting this method. RICE standing for rest, ice, compression, and elevation. It's meant to relieve pain, reduce swelling, protect damaged tissue, basically just get you back up to speed. A lot of people will take ice out of the equation and just stick with rest, compression, and elevation. There are a lot of recent scientific studies that show that ice, if not used properly, can actually be damaging to inflamed tissues. So make sure you do your research and check into that. There are lots of different methods, but this tends to be a tried and true standard. Ride. Ride is the ability of a shoe to provide a smooth transfer of your weight from your heel strike to toe off. Ride is kind of subjective. It's going to vary from runner to runner, but you should be able to tell whether or not your shoe has good ride just by how easily your foot can move in the shoe. Road race. Just like it sounds, this is a race that is held on the roads. If you're worried about traffic, don't. Most races have an agreement with the city that they're being held in to close down streets for the use of races during a certain amount of time. This is why a lot of road races will have a specific time limit and pace that you have to meet because they can only keep the roads closed for so long. RRCA. This stands for the Road Runners Club of America. If you want to find information about Road Runners Club of America, check their website at rrca.org. You can look up your state and see what RRCA affiliations are available in your area. You may be surprised at what you find. Of course, you're going to find them in most of the major metropolitan areas, but even little towns like the one that I live in have an RRCA certified club. Run-walk method. A lot of people will also refer to this as jeffing because this is a method that was developed by Olympian Jeff Galloway. Walk breaks allow a runner to feel strong at the end and to be able to recover more quickly while providing the same kind of stamina and conditioning as continuously running. By shifting back and forth between running and walking, you work different muscle groups in your body, so that helps fight off fatigue. To receive maximum benefits, you need to start incorporating the walk breaks before you start feeling tired during the first mile even. If you wait until you feel that you need to take a walk break, then you've already let yourself get fatigued and you've defeated the purpose of having a walk break. There's tons more information about the Galloway method. I even have some information about it in my video on training plans and also on the Galloway Run Walk app. I'll have links to both down in the description. Runner's high. This is that feeling of euphoria that you get during or after a run because those endorphins have kicked in. I'm going to be honest, I don't usually feel a runner's high during a run. It's usually during my cool down. Runner's knee. This is pain that is isolated around your kneecap area. It's also called patellofemoral pain syndrome, or PFPS for short. You know, when you hear someone say, I feel like my knee is giving out, that's runner's knee. There are lots of strength training exercises that you can do in order to condition the muscles both above and below your knee in order to help take the pressure off the knee and make it easier for you to run and reduce injury within the patella. Running economy. Running economy refers to how much oxygen you use as you're running. As you improve your economy, then you're able to run at a smaller percentage of your max VO2. Talk about VO2 later, but in short, it's just the maximum amount of oxygen that your body can use during a hard effort. Running tights. If you live in a place that tends to get cold weather, then you're going to want to stock up on running tights. If you're the type of person that still wants to run outdoors, even in those colder temperatures, then find some runner's tights. These are spandex leggings that you can wear under a pair of pants in order to keep you warm. I have several pairs of them myself that I wear when I want to be outside. They are spandex, they're fleece lined, and they have pockets, so it's everything that I'm looking for. Well, there's some vocabulary starting with the letter R. If you found this helpful at all, then why don't you leave me a thumbs up or just let me know down in the comments. This is your second reminder that if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It's totally free and you can keep caught up on all the running content that I have coming out on this channel. Why don't you subscribe to me on social media too? I can be found across most platforms under the name Running Geek Girl. Thank you so much for being here today. I hope you're having a great week and I can't wait to see you next time. Happy running. A lot of people will take ice out of this equation, just